Brock Sanders, Shaine Ferrier.
In charge of the action when the cage door closes, Mr. Buddy Caskey.
Buddy Caskey's the man. I was good friends with his son growing up. Buddy is truly one of the good guys around here. I mean,
the legendary Buddy Caskey.
Legendary. He's a guy that's thrown hands with a time or two himself.
Yeah.
He's all about it. Great person to have in here directing this fight here tonight. Here we go. Brock Sanders, Shaine Ferrier.
He's about to get after it. Shaine Ferrier looking for those big punches. Tags Brock Sanders early. Brock shooting for the double to the body lock. Looking for the takedown here. Big punches from Showtime Shaine Ferrier to get it started.
Huge shot. We've seen this with him a lot. He comes out hot, comes out throwing big shots. That's why I call him electric. But right now he's in a bad position. He's about to give up his back. Maybe not.
Showtime just being athletic.
Setting up another armbar set up from Sanders.
This is tough. You know Sanders is familiar with this armbar position. He's long, switches off to the triangle. Shaine Ferrier trying to hammer fist his way out. Not the way to go. Attempts the slam, but my boy Brock Sanders ends up on top. This is tough for Shaine.
This is hard to get out of.
What a scrap.
He is in there.
Wild man.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Way to hang in there.
We're only 1 minute into this fight. This thing is rolling.
Brock Sanders able to get one hook in. He's threatening.
With the back, yeah.
What? Like two alley cats just.
Ferrier came out, had a huge moment right off the bat, landed a big right hand.
Landed some big strikes.
You got to give Sanders credit, weathered the storm, got the takedown, and he seems to be, taking over a little bit right here.
Yeah. I'd like to see Sanders throw some of his own strikes here, just kind of loosen up Ferrier for, he obviously wants his back. But
honestly, this is something I'm talking about all the time with guys when I'm in the gym with them. Grappling's one thing, but we have to grapple and strike. We have to make people feel us in ways more than just threatening with submissions. And if you're a good grappler and you can punch somebody up, you will punch yourself into those finishes
open up
more
those
oftentimes than not. Yes.
Well, right now moving over into half guard, down to full mount.
Very obvious that Brock Sanders has a huge advantage on the mat, just seamlessly moving to mount. This is the second time. I don't know if Shaine is going to have the gas to make that roll again.
And he's got to be careful here because Sanders set up his armbar in his last fight from that big, explosive bridge of his opponent. So he can't be willy-nilly with his arms in this position while he's trying to get out.
Like Brock might have a cut on his hairline, or he's definitely got something.
Oh,
One more time, Shaine extending that arm. Huge mistake.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
He didn't quite trap the head with his leg, though.
Oh, wow.
And Ferrier's able to spin out of it.
Shaine Ferrier, never say die.
Are we still in round one? Oh, my gosh, you guys.
Ferrier ducking all kinds of submission attempts from Brock Sanders so far.
Brock looking for the
big knee
up the middle. As he's looking for the dar, Shaine Ferrier finds his posture.
Deep breaths from Ferrier, too.
10 seconds left, and Ferrier looks to land some bombs.
Oh, my gosh. And a takedown from Shaine Ferrier.
What a round.
No time to do anything with it. Oh, my goodness.
There is no way these fans in Ruston are not excited. This has been a great start to the card so far, and that was an exhilarating first round. Here's a look at Ferrier coming out. I think that right hand may have been what caused that blood you were talking about on the forehead.
I mean, look, it made Brock turn all the way around. He had to find himself, but works his way in, gets the body lock, and finds the takedown. It's kind of apparent what's going on here. Brock Sanders definitely stronger on the mat. He needs to come out and score another takedown. Shaine Ferrier got bombs in his hands.
I agree, and I think if Sanders will just settle in one of those positions, look to soften up his opponent with some strikes, I think he'll find those opportunities for the submissions instead of having to work so hard to get into those submissions.
Well, he was throwing the submissions up. I mean, left and right, he was throwing them up. There's no doubt about it.
I love that moment from Brock Sanders as Ferrier slams him and he rolls him over and says, no, no, no. Great stuff. It's good. It's good to see these guys' personalities play out a little bit. Now that they have more fights, they're a little more comfortable in there. What a scrap. Let's go.
Yeah, let's see.
I feel like I just watched 3 fights in that one round. That was loaded.
Well, let's see if round 2 can exceed what we saw in round number 1.
Look at the set from Shaine Ferrier. His hands are low. In an athletic place.
Nearly ate a kick for those low hands.
Good read from Brock to just fire a kick into it because, I mean, kind of reminds me of Eddie Wineland. Y'all remember Eddie Wineland? How he kind of threw punches? Something similar for Shaine Ferrier.
Sanders seems very comfortable in these grappling situations.
They have both seemed to kind of slow down in this second round.
How could it not?
Well, and maybe that's a learning point for Ferrier as well, because we've seen him go out there, guns blazing, tire out a little bit. Maybe he's starting to learn how to conserve the gas tank.
Both kind of jostling for control.
Ferrier did get that takedown with the trip at the end of round number 1.
Kind of a headlock attempt there. Brock Sanders just slips through.
You can tell Sanders is
a double
strong.
leg finish.
Long, wiry, strong, yes.
The corner calling for Brock to pull his head down.
He did get there, pulling him against the off of the cage. Maintaining good control of the hips. If he can get him away from the cage, he won't have to deal with
Brock's
the
got a nice little handcuff on this far side, making it difficult for Shaine to roll through. He's got that hand trapped. Shaine looking like he's going for a schoolyard headlock here. Will he make it work? My goodness. Give him a noogie.
Sanders able to pop his head out finally. And here he is with the back again.
Yeah, a little more time for Sanders to work now, just over a minute.
Swiping left hand.
Yeah, this is what I want to see. Some shots to soften him up.
Absolutely. We all have to be better at that.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's a difficult thing to navigate.
It is. But in order for you to be able to pull it off in a fight, guillotine attempt here, see if Brock Sanders has the squeeze. This looks like a pretty good position. He's got the head flat. He's got the opposite side leg up. He's saying no.
Yeah, he shook his head no. Good job by Sanders to let it go, and now he's got the back once again.
Takes the back. Shaine Ferrier just loses track of the legs, allows the hooks to get in, and he's being controlled in back position now.
15 more seconds for Sanders. Now trying to look for the RNC.
Shaine Ferrier fighting the hand, fighting this choke tooth and nail.
Wow.
Brock Sanders saying that Shaine grabbed his glove. All is fair, baby.
As long as he's got, ooh.
Sanders being warned by Buddy Caskey. Pushed Ferrier down at the end of that round, but a dominant round for Sanders.
The no-nonsense Buddy Caskey. Not in this cage, baby.
That's right. Not going to happen on my watch, says Buddy Caskey. But I'll tell you what did happen on his watch. He was watching Brock Sanders start to take control of that fight in round number 2. You can see just the better grappler, stronger as well, and he did a really good job starting to take
hanging
control.
In there tough, but didn't have as many big moments, wasn't able to find that big shot in this round. And yeah, Brock just kind of sucking the wind out of his sails.
And then in moments like this where I don't like when your back is against the cage, people try to punch there. You really need to be pushing at the head and looking to get back up. Your punches are just not going to be effective there. But those are the things you learn through experience. I mean, I got to give it to Ferrier. Like you like to say, Matt, the guy's got gills. I don't know how he's surviving these chokes, but he is.
Yeah,
breathing through his ears.
he may be, especially for that triangle in round 1.
Sure.
I thought that was pretty tight.
He's just tough. Sometimes you're just too tough to even need to breathe.
That's a fact. Here we go, round number 3 underway.
Big teep kick up the middle to start the round from Shaine Ferrier, back in his Eddie Wineland-esque stance. These punches are coming, baby. Big right hand,
nice
like he's throwing a fastball, but loses his positioning and just kind of gets speared to the mat. We got to keep our range.
Ferrier having some really good moments there, and he just kind of lost it and ends up on bottom once again, right where Brock Sanders wants him. Sanders with a good shot on the ground.
It's funny how as the fight has developed a little bit, Sanders doing a better job of striking, and I don't know if that's because he's a little tired, so he's not committing as much to the hard passes and grappling, but this is actually better for him. Posture, punch, make Shaine move into a bad spot and find your submission, find your position from there.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like he was listening to us in the corner. I know he wasn't, but he's definitely looking like he's kind of settled. He's figuring things out.
Nice little pass to half guard there. And again, can he get to mount?
Does it effortlessly once again.
Yikes. Shaine's got a bite on his head, but this is bad.
Yeah.
It looks
Pushed
like,
against the cage like that. It's a very difficult position.
Looks like
to
Brock
get
Sanders
out.
might have, well, thought he had a head arm there for a second. Good punches here from Brock Sanders. This is better. Why go for the submission?
To work.
When
yeah,
we've
this
got
is beautiful.
Establish the mount. Do not go for the armbar. Keep the mount and keep punching his face until the fight is over.
You may get exactly what you want, Matt Schnell. This could be nearing its end. Brock Sanders pouring it on.
Shaine just not defending this position effectively. Brock's all the way up into his armpits. Shaine has to shrimp his hips, get him on more on his waist so that he can break his posture. This is a bad spot for Shaine Ferrier.
Ferrier trying to use the cage to create anything he can. Instead, he's just going to eat more shots from Sanders.
And this is why technique and understanding of these positions is so important, because early when Shaine had the gas, he was just muscling out of these spots.
And
but
eventually
now,
you run out of that. You need the technique.
we are deep in this thing. Last 30 seconds of this fight, and you're not muscling out of nothing. Brock Sanders landing good ground and pound here. If I was Buddy Caskey, I would think about stopping this fight.
We're certainly close to that point. Sanders sticking the tongue out, letting him hear it. Oh, going for the finish now.
5 seconds to work. Is Buddy going to stop it?
Caskey's going to let Ferrier survive.
I don't
Wow.
know. What a finish
And you
to
gotta
round
give it
3 for Brock
to
Sanders.
I know a lot of people watch the sport and they see somebody in mount and they think, oh, if I could just get to mount, I can, end the fight there. But it's kind of difficult
tough
to
spot
stay
to
in mount.
punch from.
Yeah, it's a difficult spot to kind of float, and you've got somebody bucking and moving underneath you. And Sanders he navigated it well, was able to stay heavy, stay in control, and land those strikes for the rest of the round, which was like 1 minute and 15 seconds that he was in that mount.
I'll tell you what, Buddy Caskey woke up and chose violence today because those were some huge shots from Brock Sanders, and they were really uncontested at the end of this one. Ultimately, Ferrier does survive. Sanders not going to get the finish here. He will have his hand raised in a moment.
No doubt.
But great showing by Brock Sanders.
What a performance by Brock Sanders. Way to bounce back. I'm sorry, he won his last fight.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Sanders won his last fight.
He bounced back from
2 wins in a row, baby.
That's right, starting to string them together. Bounced back from a big shot in round 1, where he may have been the one that was rocked.
Absolutely.
Felt like, he could, start to have his moment. Instead,
UFC
Sanders got the takedown.
UFC vet Jesse Butler in the corner of Brock Sanders. Brock Sanders, a Jesse Butler protege, so to speak.
That's a tough dude right there as well.
Yeah, I think if Ferrier could walk away with one thing from this fight, it's just learning that technique is needed. I think in his first fight, he was able to use his physical strength to get out a lot of moves. And early in the fight, he was able to, but it all goes back to that technique. It's needed in those later rounds. You're not going to be able to muscle out of everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of hooking and jabbing, scooping and slamming, hanging and banging, we are going to the judges' scorecard. Ladies and gentlemen, all 3 judges have seen and scored this bout the same way, therefore declaring your winner by unanimous decision. Fighting out of the red corner,
The red corner with the bluer tape.
Both guys with the blue tape on, but it was Brock Sanders. Some good sportsmanship at the end there. Sanders was certainly letting him hear it throughout the course of that fight, but it made for a great fight, and ultimately it is Brock Sanders who comes out victorious and picks up his 2nd straight victory. 3 fights in the books. We're going to move now to one of our 2 grappling matches tonight. We have 2 of those scheduled for you. Owen Hebert and Briar Smith will be first, and we'll have an intermission after that.